You can also reach us on our social media platforms at Ɔdadeɛ Radio on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Send us an email at ɔdadeɛradio@gmail.com or visit our studio at the Presec Alumni and Mentorship Center AMC on the Presec campus, Legon, Accra. Ɔdadeɛ Radio, shine the light. Thank you for your attention, and please stay glued to Ɔdadeɛ Radio.
Ɔdadeɛ Radio. Like us on Facebook at Ɔdadeɛ Radio. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Ɔdadeɛ Radio. You can WhatsApp or call us on 0200-092925.
Us on Ɔdadeɛ Radio this Thursday, November, in the year 2022. You are welcome again to our program, the Education Standard, which we do every Thursday on Ɔdadeɛ Radio. Now, we are in a season of admissions. Currently, we know that WAEC is dealing with the papers that the BEC people wrote. And then we are also looking at our senior secondary school exams that are being undertaken out there. But today we want to look at a topic which we did some time ago, and we are looking at part 2 of it. And with this part 2, we want to look more at admissions and placements of students into Presec Legon. And expected here are our assistant head number 1, that is administration, and that is Mr. Prince Agote. We are expecting him very, very soon to land in our studios. Then we also have standing in for Mr. Kofi Enyinem Boating, yes, our coordinator for legacy projects. We have Ben Ajay Pripra, the General Secretary, Global General Secretary of Ɔdadeɛ. And then also we have in the studio my co-producer and presenter, hosts, Mr. Tete Agbemon. Yes. I don't know why I always mix his name. Maybe because I spend too much time with the Krobos. the names keep mixing us up. Yes. Yeah. In the previous edition, we had Ɔdadeɛ Otu, Eric Otu Amankwa with us of the Ministry of Education, who gave us a lot of light. Threw a lot of light on our external systems of admission. But as I said today we want to look more inside. And we don't want to say we want to look inward, but we want to look inside, because even though we are talking about inside, we are still open to the world. Yeah. And we say good afternoon wherever you are. My name is Emmanuel Ambrose Asamoah. your regular host. Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Good afternoon, Reverend.
And welcome to the studios.
Thank you.
Good. Maybe before I take off, you can give me one sentence about Black Stars and what do you think about them, and especially their performance today, if you were able to catch them or hear about them. Or Black Stars of today. I'm talking about today, that is World Cup 2020. Give us a sentence or two.
Reverend, what controversy do you want to bring up at this time?
Oh, just one sentence of your view, and yeah. There are many talkings around, and
okay.
Just tell our people something.
Let me just say this.
Yeah.
Black Stars, they're part of our national community. Let me put it that way.
Thank you very much.
And they are going to represent us at the World Cup.
Yeah.
We wish them the best of luck.
Mm-hmm.
But I would want everyone to manage his heart. We should not be going there or be sitting here and expecting the heavens of them. They would work out to the best of their ability. But then, as I said, let's not have too high an expectation of them. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much. That is very soothing.
I'm just expecting them to build on their performance today when they start the World Cup proper.
Thank you very, very much. Yeah. Black Stars belong to Ghana, and we know what we are capable of doing, either standing still or marking time or moving forward. So whichever way it is, let us have a big heart to receive them in their best performance. Yeah. So we come back to our studios and talk about our matter admissions. I was expecting assistant head to come and tell us about this one. What is the procedure for selection and placement of candidates into SHS this year? Every year the trend keeps changing from above, and I know that every year something goes up or something comes in, and we know that we also have a lot of situations where we sit on tentacles in Presec, because almost everybody wants to come to Presec, especially after a star performance in the recent science and math quiz competition, which ended about a month ago or so. Yeah. And it whips up vim for people who want to come to Presec. Yeah. I don't know if we have any idea about what Presec has in place so far as this year is concerned. Ben.
As you said earlier, it's an administrative decision, and I wish the assistant headmaster in charge of administration was here to answer that.
Yeah, thank you very, very much. Yeah, any ideas? Okay.
I think for Presec, just as you stated, we are at a receiving end, more or less. When the results are published and then the placements are done, we receive them, and then I think our only real concern will be with our legacy admissions, which I'm sure we'll be discussing.
Exactly.
Yes, but with respect to who comes to Presec beyond the legacy admissions, I'm sure we only be at the receiving end. They finish with it, they do their placements, and then we receive a list. Unless there's something else that I'm not aware of.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That is the picture. Exact picture. Yes. So we know that as it happens every year, it is when Ministry of Education has released, or GS has released the lists before we are able to tell the situation. Yeah. So whilst you are waiting for Mr. Agote, maybe we can just give one or two pieces of advice to people who expect to come to Presec. I don't know if you have anything like that for them. Yeah.
What I would want to say is this. You alluded to the fact that Presec is oversubscribed. And it's not only Presec. There are some schools in Ghana, I think the statistics are all there, that have been seriously oversubscribed, and sometimes the oversubscription even goes in particular programs. So what our advice is this, and this goes to parents and students alike. When you are getting into the examination, you know your ability, you know your capacity. Do it such that, do your selection such that you have a safety net to be caught in. Some people are overly confident to the point that they they want to pick Presec for all the 6 slots. When you do that, when you fall off, definitely there will be nothing to catch you. You fall hard to the ground. So at least you know your capacity, you know your ability, you know your potential. Try to do things such that if one falls out, if you slip off a particular level, you can always have something to catch you below. That's the advice I would give.
Thank you very much. Ben, any advice?
Sure. I would say some of the students, based on just the National Maths and Science quiz, to decide on the school they want to attend. We still have students that know the competitiveness of science in Presec here. It's very high, and so if you don't have a very, let me say, high grade, aggregate 6, it's unlikely you will get. So since admission here is based on merit, I advise that students try as much as possible to be within their means. If you know you don't fall within grade 6 to 8, for depending on the subject area that you want to study, I wouldn't advise they go in for science, knowing very well you are not within that range. That's the little advice I would give to students when choosing their schools.
Yeah, and Ben, to add to that, you see, sometimes people get carried away by that sentence, aggregate 6. You get it? Aggregate 6, it is possible that somebody who did 9 has all 1s. He is aggregate 6. And the person who has 6 1s is also aggregate 6.
That's right.
So most times people get carried away with that statement that I had 6. What kind of 6?
6,
and I'm sure, yes, I'm sure we'll be coming to that when we start the discussion into the details.
That's right.
So you realize that when there is a tie, and there is the need to decide who goes, then you see that just the 6 is not enough for you. Now we'll begin looking beyond the 6, beyond the 7, beyond the 8, and ultimately the 9. So if to make yourself, that's why I was talking about the safety nets.
Yeah.
If you are making your choice of school, program, and then residential status, you should have all these things in mind, such that if one fails, and that's what I call the slip, if one slips you can get yourself caught in the other nets, and then you are safe, and then you land properly. But when you tell me that, I don't want to mention subjects, but somebody will tell you aggregate 6, and then you want to see the details, and then you realize that no, this kind of 6 is what is not inuring to your benefit, in the sense that when the tie comes in and they start doing the sifting, then automatically you are found wanting. So let's encourage our children, parents, teachers alike. Let's let them see the reality in their potential, in their ability. And if there's room for improvement, let's push them to strive to be at the top. You see? But then if you know the capacity of your ward, you know the capacity of your students, I mean, there's no point pushing that child to go and do a program just for the name. It's not the best. At the end of it, you stress yourself as a parent, you stress the child, and you lose confidence in the system when you have brought that thing on yourself.
Yeah. Thank you very, very much. So it happens that we have to receive students.
Yeah.
Students must come because the school must run.
Yeah.
The academic year ended and it is restarting. So we must have students by all means. Yeah, but as you heard our contributors said, just make yourself open. There are many schools in Ghana, and wherever you land, you can make up your mind that this is where I want to have my springboard. And it is possible to spring from anywhere. Yes, very, very possible to spring from anywhere. And we will land safely on Canaan side.
Amen.
By you becoming a very successful student, whichever route you took to wherever you want to go. Yeah. Yes. So we encourage parents and candidates that whatever comes their way, they should be ready to receive them. Yeah. They shouldn't do Presec or suicide kind of situation.
No.
As we used to have in the past. Yes. And we in Ɔdadeɛ have what we call legacy admissions. Yes. And so we have in the studio our General Secretary representing the director in charge, and this is Ben Ajay Pepra, who is here to brief us. So, Mr. Pepra, can you give us a broad outlook of what we mean by legacy admissions?
Okay, legacy admissions is a practice in which the school gives special consideration to children of alumni when deciding who to admit. In our case, it will be all students. In our case, it will be all students. In the case of the other stakeholders, I don't know how they manage DS, but in our case, we do it for alumni.
They have a free range system.
Oh, Reverend, this one you have to explain. This free range you have to explain.
Yes.
The free range.
Yes, please.
Oh, the free range means that people troop down to various places and then look for family members, look for uncles, and tell them that we want to go to Presec, so help us.
Oh, okay.
Somebody who knows who was eating kerewele with the headmaster in the 80s or 70s remembers suddenly that, oh, I have a friend in Presec, I can go and talk to him. Yes.
Okay.
Somebody also says that I've been a Presbyterian from 3 great-grandparents ago. So head office of Presby Church, rain or shine, you have to put me into Presec. Yeah, this is what I mean by free range.
Okay.
Any method there rings.
Okay. Okay.
All right, I continue. In as much as we are considering children of alumni, we also don't want to dilute the standards of Presec, and as such, we have cut-off points for consideration.
Yeah.
Every year, depending on the performance of students, there is a cut-off point. But for close to 3 years now, our cut-off point is aggregate 12. There are conditions attached to our selection, and it includes the applicant applying on behalf of the candidate.
Okay.
The applicant should be in good standing with his year group. His year group should be in good standing, and then the applicant must also indicate his relation to the candidate in question. We have relation here because there could be a case where an old boy has all girls, but
like
has
me.
a nephew. A
Like
nephew
me.
who is a gentleman that wants to come here. When we are done with the sons and we still have slots for, I still have additional slots, then we consider the nephew, and then other relations. That's why we let them indicate their relationship with the candidate.
Okay.
So before we do that, in order to know the numbers we are dealing with each year, we take the names, the name of the applicant, the name of the candidate, the relation to candidate, index number, preferred course that is subject to grade, and then they send to us before the results are released.
Good. I was going to ask that do we wait till the results are released, or do we take all these details before the release of results?
We take these details before the release of the results.
So the application is in anticipation?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Once we take these and then the results are released, definitely some will go through on their own.
Yeah.
Those that are not able to go through, we have a cutoff point, like I said earlier on. For 3 years now, it's 12, aggregate 12.
Okay.
And if these people fall within the cutoff point, we consider them. And then, like I said earlier, if the year group is in good standing, the member is in good standing, we also consider that.
Okay.
Again, the selection is not always, should I put it, it's not all the time that you'd have all of them getting boarding house, because of the facilities available here.
Okay.
So there could be a situation where someone would have gotten admission but wouldn't be a boarder, as others insist. Once legacy admission from old boys, and with their contribution to old boys activities, they don't see why they should not get the boarding house.
Yes. Now, Ben, let me rudely interrupt you here and ask this question for clarification, because I don't want to go too far into the presentation and then lose track.
Okay.
Yes. Earlier on we talked about aggregate 6, the quality of aggregate 6.
Yes, please.
Now, you are talking about aggregate 12. What is the quality of the aggregate 12 you are talking about? Do we have some specific set of subjects that should be contained in aggregate 12? Or is it just aggregate 12 irrespective of the subject?
That's why I stated in the list for consideration that the preferred course is subject to grade.
Okay.
So if the grade is for that particular year, if it could be above the 12, in the sense that if you have aggregate 8 not getting admission through the normal placement, and we are considering at the legacy admission level, it means the grade we need to up our grade cutoff point for that particular year. That's why when I stated earlier that it's based subject to the grade that you are having. Each year we for 3 years now it has been at 12, depending on the performance of the students. But this very year, until the results are out, we wouldn't know the performance of the students. And so as of last year, the cutoff point was 12.
Okay. My reason for asking this question, for instance, is that aggregate 12 with a weak maths. You get it?
Yeah, I get you.
Maybe the 12 you are talking about, the maths grade is not in there. Or is it standard that no matter what, the aggregate,
I think
when you talk about
for every science student,
maths will be there?
Yes, math for you to apply for science, it means your mathematics should be on point.
But what I'm saying is, the person knows that he's got aggregate 12. Aggregate 12. Now, if the maths grade is not reckoned in the 12, does it go against him?
The maths would definitely be within, because they are core subjects and then they are elective.
Yeah, so that's what I want us to bring out. That's what I want us to bring out. So if we say aggregate 12, what are the components of that aggregate 12?
Okay.
Okay, before we go on, I want to welcome into the studios Mr. Prince Agote, the Assistant Headmaster 1 in charge of administration for Presec. Mr. Agote, you are welcome, sir.
Thank you very much.
Good to see you this afternoon.
Thank you. Sorry for coming in late.
Well, we understand. We understand your situations and we understand how busy you are too. Yes. So we've been talking about Presec and admissions this year, and we are boxing two areas together. What comes from administration and then what comes also from our legacy area. Before we go on, I think Mr. Pepra can tell us the difference between legacy and the more popular word, protocol. Are they the same or are they different?
They are the same.
They are the same. Thank you very, very much. Okay.
I beg to differ here.
Okay, carry on.
I'll beg to differ here. They could be the same, but they could be different.
One is specialized.
Because the legacy project, I say legacy, sorry. Legacy admission is our old students' protocol.
Yes,
That's right.
Good. Now, protocol outside of that, you don't handle it. So maybe we would direct that question
they
to
all
assistant.
fall under the manual placement.
Please don't try to carry load that you cannot carry. Assistant head is here. Let him carry that load.
Sure.
That's right.
All right. Thank you very much. Good afternoon to your cherished listeners.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir.
Protocol, as it has been tagged, is a provision in the admission process that allows the school to give admissions to stakeholder bodies of the school, and one of such stakeholder groups is the old students. So the protocol goes beyond the legacy admissions.
Thank you very, very much for the explanation. The first time I had to answer this question was in the studios of Star FM radio many years ago, when they asked me why should we have protocol, and my answer was very simple. I used and let me say it again, Honorable Asantehene, I used him as an example. Yeah, because if you are talking about admission to tech, and he's the landlord, and he says he has 3 people in his jurisdiction who must enter tech because he is one of the ogoros of the place. We cannot say no to him, because once it is in his land, his people must benefit from it. Just as whilst we are here, the people of La also benefit a lot from what we do here. Yes. So we cannot run away from it. I know some people have been fighting against it. Some of my own classmates have been speaking against it, but there's nothing we can do about it but to say, yes, we need to help our own people on the land. Yes. So we carry on with it anyway. And I'm sure that in officialdom up there above the school, there is provision and there's that kind of allowance too. Yeah. So thank you very, very much, Mr. Assistant Headmaster. Yeah. And are you done, or I should go ahead with my next question?
Yeah, I came in to meet the quality of an aggregate.
Yes, okay. Okay, carry on, sir.
There are some core subjects that form the basis for calculating the aggregates. And usually you would have mathematics in there. You have integrated science in there. You would have social studies, and then English language.
We are talking about BEC.
BEC, yes. Yeah. Yes, for the BEC. So at least these 4, and then any other 2.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yes, these 4 and any other 2. Usually will give you the aggregate. Yes.
Okay.
The aggregate.
So whenever I hear aggregates 12, automatically maths is there.
Yes.
Science is there.
Pass. The pass mark.
Social, irrespective whatever the
grade.
quantum
of
the grade.
Okay.
So maths, integrated science, social studies, English language, and 2 other subjects.
Any 2 other subjects. Yes.
So the 2 other subjects will be on the basis. That one will be on the basis of merit.
Yes.
Yes.
So
The highest.
Best.
naturally, the person will
Best
choose
score.
the next best.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Next best.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Thank you very much for the
I see.
clarification.
Thank you very,
That
very
is the
much.
situation where you see someone's mathematics 9 being captured,
Okay.
and then when you select the next 2 subjects,
Mm-hmm.
there is a grade 3 on another subject that has
Mhm.
not been captured
Mm-hmm.
because the mathematics is mandatory.
And,
Yeah.
and these are the things that parents and even to some extent teachers do not know,
Exactly.
and they make all the noise when it
Exactly.
comes to admissions and
Exactly.
placements.
Exactly.
I hope this the dissemination would catch up.
Some schools have taken up the responsibility and have invited resource persons to speak to parents and other stakeholders when it comes to selection of schools and before the BEC. So that
Okay.
even as the schools prepare their students for the exams,
Mm-hmm.
examination, yes, it is an activity, but you can pass an exam with strategy and pass better.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes it's not all about content.
That's right.
Yes, to pass an exams or to make your way to the next level, it takes more than just the content.
Mhm,
You have to
mhm.
strategize and then see how best you can make your way to the next level. So when you are a head of a school, like a basic school, and GSS are about to write their BEC, it is up to you to be informed first as the
That's
leadership.
true.
You must be informed first.
Okay.
Then you draw a plan so that long before the student even starts writing their mocks,
Mhm.
you
Mhm.
prep them so that they know what it takes to get the kind of grades or the kind
Mhm.
of schools that they want to go to.
Okay.
So that if you are playing, you don't play around science, you don't play around English, you don't play around mathematics, you don't play around. Once you get your 4, then you can do anything with the rest of the 2.
Yeah. That's interesting. That's interesting. So it means that the JHS schools must have a lot of information
Yes.
and have big knowledge about all that goes into
Exactly.
getting into the exams,
Exactly.
and not only for exams results, but
Mhm.
how to pass and
Pass well.
strategically enter the school of your choice.
Exactly.
Yes, that's interesting. So it means that they have a role to play. What are our parents and guardians? What would you expect of them also before the children go in there?
Yes, parents and guardians, first and foremost, parents must know that it is the children who are going to write the exams.
Mm-hmm.
And the focus must be on preparing the child and not the parents.
Mm-hmm.
Some parents get themselves so busy with the exams and leave the children. So what they do is that they get all sort of teachers for the child.
Mm-hmm.
And all they are interested in is the teacher must come, the teacher must come, the teacher must come. Forgetting that it is not the teacher who is going to write the exam, it is the child who is going to write the exam. So parents, when you come, find out from your child, what have you learned?
Mm-hmm.
Find out from the teacher, how are we doing to achieve our goal? So if we want 6 1s, 7 1s, 8 1s, yes, the teacher input is very, very important, but the child's readiness is paramount.
Mm-hmm.
This is
Mhm.
where parents must begin to look at.
I
Parents
see.
must be informed and seek the child's interest
Mm-hmm.
and not their interest. So
Okay.
if the child says that I want to be an engineer, or I want to be a journalist, I want to be an artist, I want to be a broadcaster,
Mm-hmm.
right from there, if you don't have what it takes to appreciate the courses that will lead the child to achieve this goal, begin to seek advice. My child says she wants to be a journalist. Should I still be bothering her with so much mathematics? And yes, the courses are very, very important.
Mhm.
But then you begin to tell the child, okay, if you want to be a journalist, then your language must be top notch.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, if I want to be an engineer, then my mathematics and science, I shouldn't have to play with them at all.
Okay.
Oh, I want to be an artist, then your technical drawing and visual arts work and all those things,
And your imagination.
your imagination.
Imagination.
So this is where parents must be, and it takes the schools to make the parents to be informed about some of
Mhm.
those things.
Mhm.
At PTA meetings, you start talking to your parents. so that the parents will be informed. When the children come home, they don't put the children and say, your uncle was a doctor, your this one too was this.
So you have to.
No. And that is where a lot of the students get frustrated.
Yes.
And then he will go through secondary school. He is not doing what he wants to do. And at the end of the day, he's doing mommy's course.
That's
he's
rebellion.
doing daddy's course. So they pass for you, and at the end of the day, they are not happy.
They rebel.
Yeah.
They rebel against the very thing they are supposed to be learning.
That is the thing. Yes.
And
yes.
today I was just in a discussion with someone, and I think for purposes of branding, I wouldn't mention the radio station's name.
Okay.
For one way or the other, people think that once you are a smart guy, you should go to science. Who says that
notion.
the journalist doesn't need to be smart?
Mm-hmm.
Who says that the artist doesn't need to be smart? So the moment, and that is the problem we have from the GSS level. The moment the child is doing very well in classes, we'll be a doctor. So the moment they start picking schools, then they start looking at the science options for the child. But maybe the child is interested in drawing.
It's true.
The child is interested in more creative things,
The
playing with
problem-
nature.
The problem we are having stems from the fact that some parents see certain careers as status symbols.
Mm-hmm.
So if my child can be called this, then I have also arrived.
All right.
You see? So we push our children into the things that we had wished for ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Not because we are seeing the potential in them and so we want to harness it. No. But we want to see us in them.
Mm-hmm.
So in the process, we push them in the way they don't want to go.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, that conflict rages on in their lives, even
Forever.
until the point they become independent. And if it is not too late for them, they break away and then they go and pursue their
Their
interests.
own personal interests.
They'll break away and go and pursue that interest. And they get in there and you see that they are at peace with themselves. They are
Mhm.
enjoying what they are doing. So, Mr. Star Headmaster, I think this communication must, as you said, get to the PTs this year. I don't know if they still exist anyway.
Yeah, the PTA still exists.
Okay.
At the basic level,
Yes.
but not
Okay.
at the senior level.
Senior level, there's PTA. In fact, it is still PTA.
Not PA.
No,
Hey, I see.
Ghana Education Service, Ministry of Education has not.
It is the
cancelled-
monies that we don't want to be taken.
That is it.
We hear you.
Because there is parental involvement, there's teacher involvement, there is.
And they are all very, very important. They are all stakeholders.
So the name has not changed.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Okay, thank you very, very much for
Right.
correcting me. Because I keep saying it here that the name has changed because one group has been eliminated from the group. Thank you for the correction. Yes. So may I have your information on an overview of the new system of selection and placement that we have projected for this year. We learned that there have been changes and what we expect from the candidates, and then before they get here, what is the school expected? What is the school is expecting the parents and the candidates to do before they are able to land here? Probably some people don't know yet.
Oh, in fact, for placement, it is purely by your grade.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it's purely by
Okay.
your grade. In fact, as for what goes on for you to be placed, is their computer placement systems work to do.
Okay.
So what I always tell people when I visit, you are invited as a resource person to speak to some of these schools. When I go, I tell them that, look, forget about what animal is called computer placement system.
Mhm.
Forget about that animal.
Mhm.
Concentrate on what you would have to do. Get your grades. If you have your grades, you see the way that animal called computer will be
Mhm.
chasing you to place you in good
All
schools.
over the place.
Otherwise, if it becomes the reverse, then that is where you begin to chase the computer.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So you do your bit, get your grades. When you get your grades, definitely with your raw score being very good,
Mm.
you will get your school of choice.
Good.
So nothing has really changed much. Nothing has changed
Oh, okay.
much. Yeah.
Okay. So inside Presec here, we know that when the lists come and the parents are invited, there are all kinds of setups that are done to receive the candidates and the parents, because parents are always with the students anyway. Yeah. Are there going to be changes, and what is the procedure? Are there going to be changes from previous years, and if there are no changes, or whether there are going to be changes, what do you have in mind?
The usual procedure is that we receive the placements from the ministry or the GES. Once we take hold of our list, we input it into our own admission system. So for some time now, Presec, what we do is that once you check and your name is with Presec, you go online, you have everything there, your admission letter, prospectus, everything, because your choice of program and everything is already determined by the placement system. So once you go online, you print whatever you have to print, and then you keep waiting till we communicate to you. In fact, the communication doesn't even come from us any longer. Government has a calendar. So government says that this time the list is out, report at your school at this so and so time when you come. Once your name is there, then we'll now deal with it at the school level.
Okay.
We go through it successfully.
Okay. I see. So on that day when we land here in our numbers, there are some of us who know that our names are not found in Presec. So we couldn't print out anything. Some people go and meet the schools that they didn't choose. The schools that they didn't choose first, and they refuse to print them out. So they come to the compound here and join the queue. Whatever setup they are, they come and join the people. Then at the table, they say that my son chose Presec, and his name didn't appear here, but I want him to come. What do you do, such people?
Yeah, I think we've had a lot of education around this over the years.
Okay.
You come only when you have been placed.
That's right.
In fact, it is strictly that. You come to Presec only when you have been placed. So when you have not been placed and you come to Presec, we don't make placements on campus. So whoever you come and meet at the table, you come and get crashed. You will spend a lot of time, but unfortunately, nobody can help you. Unfortunately, nobody. If you have any help to seek for, manage and get your name into the system.
Okay.
Once you check and your name has been registered with Presec, we welcome you with 2 arms open.
Thank you very, very much. These are genuine gate crashers. I want to ask a question about the non-genuine gate crashers too. Suddenly, some people appear here and they are holding letters or printed out forms, and they say that they have been placed in Presec, but they may not be the true owners of those documents. What kind of security systems do we have in place here to fish such people out?
Okay, it will be very difficult for anybody to break our security system because whatever list that we have taken from the computer placement system, we have inputted same into our system.
Okay.
And at every step along the way, there are checks in it. So when you go, whatever your admission number, in fact, you can only get an admission number if your name is in our system. And your name can only get into our system when you have been placed by the computer to Presec.
Okay.
So when you come to any stage and you want to process any document, we will require your admission number. And once you don't have an admission number, you can have a gold-plated letter.
That's right.
With everything so fantastic about it. In fact, it will not qualify you into Presec.
Thank you very, very much.
So what we keep hammering is that, yes, everybody wants to come to Presec. But coming to Presec, and this one, if my JSS kids are listening, and if parents are listening, coming to Presec starts from your first day in JSS 1. Coming to your choice of school starts from your first day in the junior high school. In fact, when you cross class 6, all the losses and credits, the credits and liabilities of the primary school are gone. You have a clean slate to start with. When you come to JSS 1, your ability to get your choice of school starts from your first day at JHS. That is what I have to say. So if you are the playful type, and what people do is that, oh, menya Presec amount. That's what the parents tell their children. Oh, I'll get you Presec.
Assurances.
So I always tell people that let your children come to Presec. Don't bring them to Presec. Let them come.
Yes.
You can come to Presec
that is very, very profound.
Very profound.
Let them
yes.
come.
Don't bring them. Because when you bring them, it's like you are walking them through a system. And unfortunately, such children at every level of their life progression are waiting for support from parents. Even when they have come out of university, when people are writing applications, they are still waiting for mother and father to place a call. You get a job.
General trend now.
That's it. But when the child knows that, hey, my ability to get to Presec is dependent on my very performance in the classroom at the BEC, you will not wake him up to learn.
Yeah.
You will get up to learn.
Yeah.
But if he knows that, as for me, and this is not to say the other years.
I'll go.
Say it clearly.
My father struggled. He passed common entrance and came to Presec on merit.
That's right.
Your father came to Presec and you want him to bring you to Presec. You come to Presec. So that's what I have to say.
Very important information. Yes.
So, Mr. Assistant Headmaster, I have been following your submission so far, and it's getting very interesting. But I want to pick your mind or views on something, and I hope this one doesn't take us too much or too far away from what we are discussing. It has to do with this, the traditional secondary school system, and then the TVET. I think one of the ways we can kind of parry people into the other programs is to make them aware of what the potentials are, what the benefits are in those programs. People would want to come to Presec because of science. And so everybody wants to come to Presec. But if they know that aside of science, I can get something else, and that brings up the question of TVET. Do we have TVET program in Presec? And if we don't, how would you encourage parents to begin to also look at those things or that program, and so that it will be of benefit to them, to their children, and to the nation?
Okay. Presec doesn't run technical vocational programs.
Okay.
We run the general science, general arts, business, visual arts, general Greek. I think these are the 5 programs that we offer at Presec. For now, we don't have technical vocational programs.
Okay.
But all this, as you have rightly put, starts with the child's own orientation.
Okay.
So before the father would even find out from the child what he wants to do, the father has already determined that the child must be an Ɔdadeɛ. So even if the child's orientation is to do some technical vocational thing, daddy says I must become an Ɔdadeɛ. So right from the word go, he's been swayed into an arena where he has no interest. So what I would rather suggest is that as much as we would want our children to follow our roots in this direction, we should begin to orient our children within that space.
Okay.
So let the child appreciate that, okay, when you come to Presec, and you see, Presec is predominantly science, but I tell people, the visual arts students, our students who read visual arts with elective maths are doing engineering and architecture at tech.
That's true.
So it's not just about the science.
We always take our place.
That's it.
Yes.
This year we won the moot court contests. These are general arts students.
General students. That's very true.
So If you
I
should know,
think it is the science and math quiz, and then the old sixth form science college that has given that preeminence of science on Presec campus.
It's a science college idea.
Yes, but I know that just as you said, we have people who have come out in all this. For instance, one gentleman was adjudged national best farmer. He's an Ɔdadeɛ.
2 years ago.
Yes.
Or 3 years ago.
Yes.
James Watson, yes.
Yes.
3-year group.
And I'm sure it is the agric we did on our school farm here
Yeah.
that put him in good stead for that career.
Exactly.
And then
Exactly.
so
Exactly.
just as you say,
So if we talk with our students and then their orientation is such that they will benefit from the programs that we run in Presec, they are welcome. But if you look from the child, he's more technical oriented. He's more home economics oriented. Why don't you allow him? In fact, I know of a chef that cooks for the Liberian president. He takes much more money than the engineer that works with talent.
That's true.
I know. You
Yes,
get me?
yes,
So
yes.
it's not. In fact, the key thing is that doing your best at what you do.
exactly.
That's the key thing. Because I know doctors that are paupers.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to put
Yeah,
them
you don't
out
have
there,
to
but I
name.
have my own siblings. Sometimes they will tell you, bro, for a whole night of sleepless time attending they have a term they use when they go to do their galamsey
Locum.
a whole night,
Locum.
150 Ghana cedis,
Wow.
200 Ghana cedis.
Mm.
And someone is sitting down, and I have a lady friend, she didn't do art.
Mm-hmm.
She did not read art at all. It was long after her schooling
Okay.
that she found love for
Well,
artwork.
that's okay.
When she does one painting, for her paintings are going in dollars, $1,200, $800, $700, depending on who is buying.
Mm-hmm.
And she's doing this in her home. And when you go, she's full of music and life.
That's right.
And doing her
Yeah.
work.
Her,
And
so she's by herself.
no,
And all
no
by
pressure,
stress.
no stress. And she's doing it so
At her
easy.
own
Easily.
pace.
You
Yes.
visit her and then you are having a program, she's sitting by you. In the
Mm.
next 45 minutes to 1 hour, she's done a drawing of you.
Mm.
And this is live drawing.
Live
And
drawing.
she's taking her money.
Mhm.
So let us make children understand that it is not necessarily what you do, but it is how best you do what you do. Because now there is an award scheme for every event.
Events. Yeah.
Every
everywhere.
event, everywhere,
Mm.
everywhere. From the arts to the sciences to the technical to the vocational to. We had a housewarming recently somewhere, and then a friend of mine looked at me and said, Prince, if you had taken up the skill in woodwork and joinery, you
Mm.
would have made a lot of money. And I asked him why. He said, I noticed the way you conduct your things at home.
Mm.
Because I have a lot of flair for such things.
Okay.
And I read science with engineering for O level,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and then went to do science again for sixth form.
Mm.
Did science at my training college.
Okay.
When I went to the university, I ran away from the science to do geography and tourism, and then
I
did
see.
2 MBAs for my masters.
Mm.
So in fact, it is not one-way traffic.
Traffic. That's right.
You can always find yourself to do what you do best.
Scientists who don't go on always run to geography.
And you see, geography was
Still
the
running
only-
around the
We
world.
all run to geography.
Still running around the
Geography
world.
was the only art subject I did
Mm.
as part of my 9
Okay,
subjects
9
for my
subjects
O-level.
those days. Yes.
So it was a soft spot for me
Mhm.
when I had to make a change.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
Yeah.
here I am reading MBAs when I have never done business.
Business.
Yes,
Yes.
Easy.
Yes.
So you just have to be critical thinkers.
Mhm.
You have to
Think
be
outside
smart,
the box.
think outside the box, be
see.
innovative. I mean, just you can always think through and do what you want to do and do it best.
That's true. That's true. That's
So
true.
just to round up, I would say that parents, look out for what you think your child can do best. Just look at them. So if you see that a child is capable of doing technical vocational education, don't force him into the traditional orthodox sciences and arts and all those things. Let them go and do what they want to do. They'll be fine with it.
Yeah. So we should turn our eyes away from the white collar jobs after the big certificates and after the big certificates. That's interesting. Yes. Listeners out there, we are having an interesting discussion on admissions and the ways we need to think right. We need to think creatively, and the way we need to think and get our children entering the school by themselves and not parents holding their hands and bringing them in. And we are sure that you have been with us as we went through this thing on Facebook with at Ɔdadeɛ Radio and Ɔdadeɛ Radio Ghana. Some of you also have been with us on Instagram and Twitter at Ɔdadeɛ Radio. Others are also standing by to give us comments and questions through our WhatsApp and SMS lines. And our WhatsApp line is 0200092925. Let me take it again, 0200092925. Our studio phone is also 0302 551 014. 0302 551 014. We are sure that you send us some text messages very, very soon. And behind our machines and consoles have been our chief technician, Joseph Otu, also known as DJ Use. And then out there we have our executive producers, Eddie Fico out there, and then also Johnny Adofenin also helping us from the other side. We will take a short break, and when we come back, we'll be looking more at the legacy thing from Ɔdadeɛ and for Ɔdadeɛ.
Ɔdadeɛ Radio. Like us on Facebook at Ɔdadeɛ Radio. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Ɔdadeɛ Radio. You can WhatsApp or call us on 0200 092925.
Did you know that 90% of people with autoimmune diseases will be misdiagnosed or spend years before a diagnosis is made? Precious time that could lead to organ damage. Autoimmune diseases occur when the immune system starts to attack healthy organs and cells in the body till they are destroyed. These conditions are more severe and are increasingly seen in people of African ancestry. The Rheumatology Initiative TRI is an NGO leading with education, advocacy, and research in autoimmune diseases. TRI ensures patients have the right peer support with a support group of over 200 people diagnosed with autoimmune conditions. The Rheumatology Initiative provides emergency medication for needy patients and teaches them life skills to ensure some financial stability. TRI reaches patients, health practitioners, and the general public through various educational interventions to enable prompt diagnosis and treatment for improved outcomes. How can you support our work at the Rheumatology Initiative? Please donate to our MTN Momo 024-192-9775. Account name is the Rheumatology Initiative. To volunteer, please send an email to volunteer@tryghana.org. That's TRIGhana.org. Visit our website tryghana.org to reach us, and on social media look for our handles at TryGhana.
Agriculture plays a crucial role to our country's development with a huge contribution to Ghana's GDP whilst providing for our food needs at the same time.
They should know that agric is the backbone of every country. Honestly, you began by giving us the percentages, but it used to be 70% that agric contributes to the economy. It's because of certain lapses that has made a figure decline.
I don't know why they see farming as a bad occupation, because in other developed countries, they take agric very seriously and they make a lot lot of money out of farming. They use a lot of modern technology to improve their yield. But over here, we only see it as the use of certain man-made or small implements such as cutlass and hoe, which don't really do much. If you want to go into mass production, which will bring you a lot of money, you use a lot of modern technology that will help improve the yield.
Time to put the spotlight on agriculture value chain in Ghana on Agric Panorama on Ɔdadeɛ Radio. Agric Panorama is a radio program that is aimed at creating a unique platform for all farmers, traders, processors, transporters, wholesalers, and all other actors within the agric value chain. Agric experts, policymakers, students in agriculture, and other stakeholders as they participate in a panel discussion to unravel all that matters to improve agriculture and agribusiness sector, which is the backbone of Ghana's economy.
It's beneficial to the country in the sense that the non-companies in this country, the products these companies bring out are from agric, or the raw products are from agric, which has been processed into finished goods.
With agric, as I was coming, I wanted to do biology, but my grandfather was the person who told me that, why don't you try agriculture? Because I'm a farmer, and look at where I am. So you can also try agriculture, and then you can see how far you go.
Agric Panorama will be broadcast live from the studios of Ɔdadeɛ Radio online every Saturday from 10 a.m. to 12 noon. You can listen and contribute to this program via the Zeno FM radio app or Ɔdadeɛ Radio app from the Google Play Store or App Store. Also watch it live on YouTube or Facebook at Ɔdadeɛ Radio or Ɔdadeɛ Radio Ghana. Ɔdadeɛ Radio, shine the light.
What does the Bible say? And what sort of light does it throw on any life-related issue? John chapter 1 verse 5 states, "And the light shineth in darkness, and darkness comprehended it not." Light for Life is a Christian panel discussion program on all life-related issues and how the Bible helps us in its day-to-day application. Beloved, my name is Reverend Gordon Kwashi, and I invite you to join me and my guests on the Light for Life program on Ɔdadeɛ Radio online this and every Sunday from 6:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. I trust that as we engage in this Light for Life program, we'll all be able to say to our God, "In thy light we shall see light." God richly bless you as you tune in.
I don't know what I would do without him.
Ɔdadeɛ Radio. Like us on Facebook at Ɔdadeɛ Radio. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Ɔdadeɛ Radio. You can WhatsApp or call us on 0200 092925.
Joining us on our break, and we are back. And don't forget to send in your questions or comments to us through WhatsApp number 02000929925, 02000929925, or text message through the studio phone on the number 0302 551 014, 0302 551 014. So we are welcome again back to the discussions, gentlemen, and thank you also for being with us at the other side, wherever you are, and listening to us. We are expecting your comments and questions coming in very soon. Then this time we want to look at legacy admissions. Yeah, can you give us a scope of it for our times? Times change, and we also change. Methods have been used in the past, and then we also moderate into modern trends. Mr. Ben Pipra, Ajay Pipra, can you give us some information?
Yes, previously legacy admission used to factor all other relations, but we realized at some point sons of Ɔdadeɛs are not able to get admission into Presec, whilst nephews, grandsons, other relatives get in. So the the legacy admission team decided that the focus will be on sons, and if there are additional slots, then we consider other relations. So previously, you could have nephew, grandson, cousin coming in, but as the years go by, we've had to change some of the procedures in order to
so that in effect you're saying all you needed was to have somebody who could stand in because he's a Presec.
He's a Presec, yes, please.
So that person interface for you and the school, and then it gets you a place.
Exactly.
Wow.
But now the numbers are increasing,
Sure.
and as such, we need to consider the sons.
Yeah.
Okay.
More, and that's why now our legacy admission is strictly sons, because we have the sons over subscribing in the first place.
Right.
Due to population explosion in their time.
Exactly. Now, if you look at the numbers in the school, you could see just first year students a little close to 2,000, and
Wow.
We have a lot of other years to wanting the awards to come in. If you look at the year groups, the younger year groups, you have a younger 2011, for instance, they are around 900 and something. So if in some years to come you have over 900 students producing, you should know the numbers that you should be expecting. And there is a quota for there is a quota for this legacy admission. I mean, protocol admissions in general, there is a quota for it. Out of that, we also have our quota for the legacy admission. And obviously, if we are to go year group by year group, or even assigning slots to year group, I doubt all the year groups would have a slot, because of the slots that are available to us. So we have to find means to cut down the numbers, or let me see, a system to separate, let me say, the men from the boys.
Now that you're saying this, an idea is occurring to me, and it's in twofold. Could it be too that, just like as the headmaster said, we as Ɔdadeɛs are not encouraging our children to aspire, so that the system places them and we don't have to resort to protocol or legacy admissions? Because if so many are going in through the normal placement system, we wouldn't have need of the legacy.
That's true.
So are we as Ɔdadeɛs failing in that direction? Are we not supporting our children to perform? Let's look at that. Now, the other side, which would need or require some graphical presentations. Unfortunately, I cannot show it here, but I hope that as I speak, the picture will be clear. For instance, just like you mentioned, which year group did you mention? 900 and something?
2011.
Good. So by the time that cohort becomes parents and their children are at that level where they should be entering secondary school, you realize that their number automatically will be big compared to their previous or earlier years.
Yes.
So imagine you having a bell shape of distribution, which is traveling along the axis of years. You get it? The modal class would always be moving towards the younger years, and the older years will be the tail of that distribution, the bell-shaped distribution. Can't we, at global level or at council level, take a decision which will look at the possibility of looking at maybe a 3-4 year group as a modal class who would have more slots, as against making it equal for all year groups? You get it? So we concentrate the allocation of slots to the modal class, because one, at that point, they are the most economically active. And by support of alumni activities, they should, by extension, be contributing more. You get it? So it is just fair that if they are the people who are virtually contributing more to keep the alumni going, if there are any benefits, it should come to them. You see? But then, I am not saying this to make people or parents complacent and say that because we have that light on us, because we are the middle class, we will not support our children. And just like Asna had said, we will bring them and not they coming. I don't know. Maybe you can have a discussion on this at your level, so that you can. So it will be a dynamic movement of that modal class. Yes, and nobody has monopoly over it. It is moving along the years as it goes, and then those who do not have need of it, their slots automatically fall to the modal class, and we go on. So maybe you can have a look at that and see how it will help the legacy process.
I will let I'll let it known to the legacy admission team.
Okay.
And then it will be sent to General Council for further discussion, and then we agree on.
Okay.
Maybe what you can also look at is, I don't know if by now, I'm not too sure. By now, I think there should be that bell-shaped distribution naturally, you know, because a chunk of the people for every year group, which will get into that nodal class naturally, will be coming in. I don't know if you get what I'm saying.
That's
so that's, for instance, like you were saying, those who completed school, let's say 2002, this is about 20 years ago. So let's say they did 4 years university education. After 4 years, they've done another 3-4 years to get master's degrees. They started marrying. So those, the past 20 years, they are the people whose children probably are now graduating, or maybe 19 years, I think around that year.
20.
Now you have
98,
98, 97, 96, 97, 98. They are in that, they fall
so naturally
now.
Their
request will be more.
The modal group has been formed naturally
to
give us that bell-shaped distribution. Okay, without any what do you call it?
Controversies.
Synthetically.
No. Manipulating it. Yes.
I don't know, but if you allow it that way, I think it may help.
Yeah, I think the challenge is with recognizing the modal class. Once they can recognize it, moving it along will not be a problem, because naturally it will be moving. Year by year, it will be moving. The only thing is for them to sit, do the analysis, and identify the modal class. Once they have done that, now it will just be flowing. And you realize that it's only a few laggards who will be found in the tail. And it will be only a few people who speed. Some people, they won't. So you see that 1 or 2 people will have their children ahead of all. Good. You see?
But I would still play my triumph card. Let the legacy admission be a last resort.
Exactly.
If I'm an Ɔdadeɛ, I should let the legacy admission be a last resort.
Last.
That's very
so that you don't even let your children know there is such a provision. Let it be that, I mean, under very odd circumstances, unexpected,
then you have to resort to it.
Exactly. But if your child is able to, I mean,
no, right from day one.
No.
He won't push. He won't push himself.
Take it easy. I remember when we were in the secondary school. I mean, it was very easy for some people. They knew that that's what when we finished. Parents were military commanders, and they knew people, and so even the very naughty ones that we had in school. By the time we finish with O-level and they already found their way into the forces. Those who are traveling out of the country have traveled.
Or
You know.
Yeah,
So when you are not lucky and you went associating with those people and the Jabba who doesn't have any legacy to hang on before you realize
you have a free fall.
Let's allow the children to pick their own level. Let them do their best. Come out. In fact, it is heartwarming for you to walk into the school and say that my child has made it.
Yes.
It is the pride that comes with it. But where you have to come and be,
asking and begging.
There's been instances where you have some of the old boys that applied for legacy admission, the awards going through directly, and then others making it into even the quiz team. And there are instances where they didn't make it automatically, but one way or the other, through legacy admission, got in and are doing very well.
You see, I don't want to say that we can always determine tomorrow. And I'll give you an example. One vice chancellor of KNUST, he brought up a program where he was deliberately focusing on deprived.
Professor Andam.
Andam did that.
Yes,
good.
It was from the Gomwa
good
area.
Good. I'm glad somebody could confirm what I'm saying.
I know of that.
And my junior brother, by what do you call it? So many years. He was in the village and he got KNUST. He ended up doing planning, made a first class, went to Leeds, did his master's. He's doing his PhD in the US now.
That's good stuff.
So if you look at just his BEC aggregates, you wouldn't have given him a chance.
Exactly.
You see? So just like Aston Head was saying, examination, and I was going to come to that if we had time. Examination doesn't always bring out who we are. Sometimes the moment the one gets into the exam hall, it's like everything in their head takes to flight.
Yeah, it's a common experience.
It happens. And some people simply fear the fact that you are in a place with somebody standing over them. So we have situations where results always don't tell the tale. It doesn't. But over time, those people, as they mature, their performance change. You get it? So nobody is frowning on legacy, but we would want it to be last resort. And once we understand it that way, we as a group, the alumni, once we understand it that way, we won't make all the fights with executives just because we could not do it. Yes. So let's look at it in that context and appreciate what comes out of it. You get it? Now, having said this, Ben, I would want to ask, abuse
of the system,
abuse of the legacy admissions. Have you had instances of abuse?
Yes.
And how did you address them?
You have members, like I said, we have a criteria for selection. Year group, a member must be in good standing with the year group. The year group should also be in good standing. You have a brother here who has let me say a sibling in another year group, so they both belong to different year groups. Now, instead of him applying as a father to the ward, because his year group is not in good standing and he is not in good standing, the brother, or rather, plays in the legacy admission as the uncle to the applicant. And the legacy admission to gives the opportunity, the priority to the sons. So right after selection, this person comes and his father is also an Ɔdadeɛ. Why didn't he get? Meanwhile, the applicant that put in the request placed the request in as the uncle to the person, not the son.
Yeah.
And I always go by what I receive. If I receive the request as nephew, when all the sons are done and they are slots, we can consider.
But
if they are not,
if you are only taking what I have written on that application form, and I decide to write son, is there a way you verify?
Yes.
Okay.
Year group presidents definitely know their members very well, and so we take information from
what
year
if I
groups.
condone? What if I condone and
Then
connive?
it's on the year group's president, because whatever information you feed me with is what I act on.
Birth certificates. You don't believe that?
We
don't
definitely
demand that.
We don't demand it, but in the course of admission, we would definitely know, because
But
when
at that time, you would have offered the admission. You would have given the
that's
admission.
why if we give the admission this very year, the next year we can blacklist the year group.
Wow.
Because the year group president gave the information.
Anyway, I asked you to tell us those problems and how you resolve them or manage them. So
yes, usually when we receive requests like that, we go through the due process. Cutoff point met. Member is in good standing. Year group president, year group is in good standing. Now the course, like I said, is subject to grade. Is the grade that the person have enough to do that particular course? Fine. Then if it takes, we go ahead with it. If we find out, just like you were saying, if we find out the information given is false, then we just put it down and then pick another person. We state categorically that whatever information you are given should be genuine, and so if we have any means to find out the information given is false, we ignore that, and as punishment to the year group, we blacklist the year group. And so year group presidents, we only take information from year group presidents.
Okay.
We only take information from year group presidents. So the year group president takes all information for his year group members that are applying and then submits to the secretariat for further processing. So we assume that at year group level, there are some checks that have
due
already,
process would have been done.
Yes.
Okay.
And then when it gets to our end, we go by it. Before we start legacy admission, we would have known the grades and then cutoff points, or I mean the grades of all the applicants, those that have gone through, and then those that are yet to go through. Those that meet the cutoff point, we state categorically that if the person doesn't meet the cutoff point, don't submit.
So between the application and when they submit, what happens? You said if they don't make the cutoff point.
Yes.
So because I thought you receive and you hold until results come.
Results come, exactly. So after the results are in, you don't even submit any. We only take the grades.
Okay.
We only take the grades. You don't have send any
so
new
the
application.
don't submit is referring to results slip.
Yes, please.
Okay. Okay.
Because the names are already listed.
The names are already in
listed. Okay. Okay. So, Mr. Assistant Head, when we have presented a list, do you also do some due diligence?
Yes, definitely. When the lists come to us, in fact, the only difference between the legacy admission and the general pool admission is the source.
Okay.
Every rigor we put every fresh students through, the legacy admitted students also go through that.
Okay.
And we check on those things. There are certain fundamental documents that we have to receive. The student B, there are parental forms that even the placement form that is brought in. Parents' details are met.
Okay.
Yes. So we go through all that.
Okay.
Get a birth certificate and all that.
You remember I was asking a question about security and the people trying to infiltrate. In the past, I've forgotten which year, but I think it was Mr. Asari's time as the headmaster. when we were dealing with these issues. And then 2 boys were brought into the headmaster's office. And they were brought in by, I think, 2 teachers who were receiving the parents and the new candidates, yeah. And then they brought them in and they were having letters that they had passed and were admitted to Presec. And they said they couldn't find their names, they couldn't find this, they couldn't find that. And we said, okay, you wait for us. So we made them wait for a little while. And then myself and Mr. Kote, we decided to go into an interview with them. Then we discovered that these are boys who had come from, one from Eastern region, one from Volta region, but that somehow they are friends. They schemed to get these letters so that they would gain admission into Presec. Then somebody told them that if you pass by anything, these 2 men,
there's no way you could pass.
There's no way you could pass them. Very interestingly. So we got them and then we told them we were going to hand them over to the police. They begged and begged and begged and begged. I think they came in and they almost got to the point where they were going to collect uniforms and books from the bookstore. Yeah, and they realized that there were shortages on the way and all that, so they were brought to us. So after questioning them, we realized that, oh, these were people who were trying to infiltrate into the system. Yes, they managed to pass through us up to a certain point, we don't know how, but at least not through to the end. Yeah, so we need to be alert because Ghana man can be anything and can do anything to want to break through any wall.
Right, let me add to that, just to throw a caution to parents.
Okay.
Unsuspecting. I mean, there are people who are going around doing all sort of things, and it's not just about Presec.
Yes, yes.
Scammers are doing
all over the place.
People will come in front and tell you, hey, I'll do this for you, I'll do that, I'll do this, I'll do that. It's a whole lot, you know. So that is why I said that let's start right. Let us start right.
Yes.
Don't be so desperate to fall for anything. There are some people's stories that are too sweet, and if you are not careful, people go about doing all sort of things. I don't want to mention details here, but I would rather.
They Photoshop letters. They edit
you know, these days, because we don't do so much paperwork.
Yeah, okay.
People are assured. In fact, people will tell you, "Oh, come and meet me
somewhere."
You know, and do all sort of things. Oh, I'll take you to the headmaster. I'll take you to the assistant. I'll take you to the school. I'll give you the admission. And the similar things are happening around various places. You see people say, these are scammers. Come to the placement center. When you come, ask of me. I'm there.
That's right.
No one. He doesn't even know the door to the placement center. So please, parents, be vigilant. Let us be vigilant and know the right channel to get through to whatever you think you want to have.
Yeah, thank you very much. Mr. Prepara, you still have some more information to give to us. Yeah, so you can carry on. Yeah.
Yes. At stands now, legacy admission is ongoing. We are still taking the list of applicants. The deadline is the end of month, 30th November. And we are requesting from year group presidents the name of applicant being old boy or old girl, name of the candidate, relation to candidate, that's the student, the person's index number, the preferred course that is subject to grade, and then these are the information we are picking from them. Later, we would request for their resource slip. Prior to submission of this, the above information, we expect year group presidents to check with their members whether they are in good standing with the year group, and then the year group should be in good standing with reference to dues paid to the Global Association. We've stated categorically that priority is given to year groups that have been in good standing prior to the year in question. This list, the cutoff point for now still stands at the grade 12 based on the performance of students this very year, but because of last year. aggregate. Aggregate 12.
Okay.
Then all this information must be sent to the secretariat on the latest by the deadline given. That is the 30th of November, and then the legacy team will act on it.
Date has been set. Mr. Assistant Master, is it possible that we will not have received our results by then?
That I'm not able to tell.
Okay.
I'm not able to tell the rollout calendar for PCS admissions.
Okay.
The BEC has been written. I'm not sure if they started marking or if they have marked already. So marking
they haven't started.
So I will not be able to tell when results are going to be out.
Okay.
Yes.
Sometimes they release the dates. That's what I'm asking. Yeah, because they are in charge anyway. Yeah, so you can carry on, Mr. General Secretary.
Sure. So we expect that latest by that date, year group president would have submitted the information we have requested for. And please, members, don't send information to the email provided, as some year group presidents just left the information you've submitted and then dump on the year group platforms. So people start sending it to you. We are only taking information from year group presidents. And we expect that year group presidents will do their due diligence and then submit their list to us so we can work on them as soon as possible. Thank you.
Well, what are you going to do to be sure that the year group presidents are passing on the information?
I think as it stands now, we've already communicated to all year groups that legacy admission is ongoing and through other channels. Ɔdadeɛ Radio has mentioned it. We are still talking about it today. The WhatsApp platforms. Some of the information we don't share on the global Facebook platform, but we expect year group presidents to forward this information to their members. As let me say, we've spoken to year group presidents, and we wouldn't want year group members coming to the secretariat to say, I didn't hear of this, I didn't hear of that. So if the information doesn't get to us, it's on the year group president's head. Whichever member that comes to the secretariat personally to find out why he didn't get that information, I would refer the person to the year group president for further discussion.
So Ben, would you say that structure you have been using to disseminate information within the alumni circles, would you say that it has been effective, using the year group presidents and then expecting them to pass on the information?
Yes, it's been effective, but I think we are working as a team, and that the year group presidents needs to also assist us in this regard. We have a notice board platform for the dissemination of information to year groups. It's not supposed to have year group president there. It's supposed to have secretaries and then other executives on that notice board platform. But we realize we are still having some of the year group presidents on that platform without any other member or executive on their platform. And so when you send something, some decide which information that needs to go down there, and it goes a long way to come back to haunt us, because members saying we don't have any idea about this, we've not heard this, we are not even aware we are paying dues as global, we are not even aware of this or that. But we sit at general council meetings where all year groups are represented by year group presidents or executives. We don't expect all presidents to be available on days that we are having meetings, but we expect representatives in the absence of the year group president. They are vice presidents, they are secretaries, they are treasurers that could represent the year group. It doesn't necessarily need to be the year group president. I have year groups that have members on the general council platform, but are not president, because the president is not, let me say, WhatsApp compliant. So he prefers, this guy would easily let me have whatever information that needs to be done, and so put this person there on that notice board platform, or maybe
so
original
that
council
platform is not a decision-making group. It is for dissemination of information.
No, it's a decision-making group.
Because if that president is asking somebody who is IT compliant to represent him there, and it comes to decision-making, when that person makes a decision, is it binding on the year group?
I mean, the notice board, rather. The notice board is the dissemination, but the global general council is
so general council is president.
Yes.
Good.
And then the other group,
the notice board,
has whether
anybody who can help in the
exactly.
That's what it should be. Okay.
Right. That's how it is.
And do you have a register of all the year group presidents, at least say 2 or 3 executives, so that if, for instance, I say 81, you can readily refer to a list and say this person, and that person.
Yes, we have a list like that, but with time, some year groups organize elections.
Good. So that brings me to the next question: what is, or do we have a tenure for office holders?
Yes, at global level, it's 3 years. Mm-hmm. And then the person has the opportunity to stand again for another 3 years, after which.
But for the year groups.
Year groups, since they are all going by the global constitution, the year groups should have a tenure of 3 years.
Yeah, it's true. But it only happens that some of the year group
presidents
have permanent. Yeah, like my year group, for example, the president, we have crowned him forever.
I'm laughing now because we have made somebody life president.
Yeah, so yes, we have life presidents in the system.
Exactly.
That is true. Yes.
So it becomes very difficult for us to sometimes manage year groups. In that some even have elections. I mean, some a group of from the year group are not in support of it.
So they don't recognize the executive.
Exactly. So council would have to come in, speak to year group. Okay, we'll do a re-election, and within that period, if there are decisions that need to be taken, it becomes very difficult.
Okay.
Stubbornness exists everywhere. Oh wow, this is interesting.
Right.
Yeah. So we have in our society now, the assistant headmaster. In our society now, we have. Have we finished with yours?
Yes, please.
Oh, okay. Yeah. We have provisions for physically challenged who mix with us wherever we are. Mm-hmm. And I want to find out what is the practice in Presec now, so far as these people are also concerned. And if you are able to make admissions and they come, what is their state of affairs?
Yes, we accommodate all category of persons. Currently on Presec campus, we have people who are physically challenged.
Okay.
And the system is quite friendly. I say quite because the making of the system friendly to the physically challenged, a lot more has to be done.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
It's not just about Presec, but I think it's a national agenda we must be able to chart.
Okay.
For instance, we have a 3-story here on campus. Assuming that the students comes in and then their year group, the class happens to be at the last floor. How does he get up? So sometimes we arrange and plead with the class members where it is difficult for a wheelchair person to go up. We'll make a class available downstairs for them to use. We have houses too that are close to the dining hall, close to the assembly hall, close to the classrooms. So when it happens like that, would allocate such students to such facilities, houses that are closer to the dining hall, assembly hall area, so that they can use the walkway to access these facilities. So as much as we've made the compound quite user-friendly for the physically challenged, there's still more room for improvement.
Okay.
We hope that going along the years would do better.
Thank you very much.
When you said there is something in place, my ears were itching to hear what you were going to say, because I remember in my time on campus, looking back, I cannot see anything that was so, unless of course those ones or those rooms that you said are on the ground floor.
Yeah.
But I was just trying to run my mind or my eyes quickly on campus to see if there are any what do you call it? Rise, not steps, but like
the bridges for the
for use by wheelchair. So I understand. So
I think we have to. It's a national policy.
It's a national problem.
But then, in fact, the policy is that all such public buildings should have those facilities. But the buildings we are consumers. The buildings we are receiving from our bosses don't have the facilities. And maybe since Ɔdadeɛ has also been providing us with some physical infrastructure, I would want Ɔdadeɛ also to take those into
purpose-built.
Yes, purpose-built facilities. So if there is any facility coming to us, maybe going forward, we should consider the
provisions for the handicapped.
Okay.
Yes, something like that.
Okay.
It should not be out of place for us to have washrooms for wheelchair users.
Yeah.
It should not be out of place for us to have at least a run to at least the first floor for wheelchair users. And I'm hoping to see there are a number of some have the clutches, so with the clutches they are able to
move up the stairs.
Yes, but it is. So far, we don't have anyone with a wheelchair on campus.
Okay.
Yes, so far we don't have anyone with a wheelchair on campus.
Well, I don't know why it hasn't been a practice over the years.
I'm waiting to see the first.
The reason could be twofold. Some parents are proactive when it comes to choosing
aids for
institutions of them. You get it? So maybe they have scanned the environment and have realized that there's no provision.
So they won't
Definitely they won't pick it. And then the other thing will be too that people who fall into that category have advised themselves that there's no point.
There's no point.
So
let me use this opportunity to throw a call to such persons who are in junior high schools to feel free to choose Presec.
Okay.
As I said, we don't have it to the best of form, but at least if you are a wheelchair user, you can be in the boarding house in Presec. It is possible. So if you are good, feel free. Get your 8-1s and come in your wheelchair. We are ready to receive you.
That's right.
You can be an engineer, you can be a doctor, you can be a lawyer, you can be a designer, you can be whatever, journalist, everything you want to be.
Seasoned chef,
chef
and all that.
Whatever you want to do. Just come. We'll make provision for you.
I see. That's very, very interesting. Yes. I had one in the years past, and he was so good. He didn't use any walking aids, but I think the hand was partially off, and he performed so much. He became my dining hall prefect at a point. Wow. Yes, and once you give them the support, they fit into the system. Yes, I think I picked him up as a friend in P.2 because at that time I was lending my services to the primary school where we're teaching them ICT. And we have to use 2 fingers. He will use this one, and then I gave him a special attention, and he went through very smoothly. I think now he's with the those who collect tax from us.
GRA.
Yes, GRA. And I told him that he should come back and do some things for Presec. That would suit his friends.
Anuka.
Yes. Anuka, yes. Anuka was my personal friend too. That's why I became Dining Hall Prefect. People who wanted to be Dining Hall Prefects will come and look for services to render to me or Mr. Kote. Very interesting, yes. But I think it's been a good discussion time, and we have a lot of information. If there's any information that we need to pass on, I think this is the time for us to do as we get to the close of it all. And as we prepare to send messages, I mean, as a final word to candidates who are coming, to parents, and then to the teachers down there, and then our expectations of how to receive them in Presec.
All right, maybe I would take this opportunity to welcome those who are yet to come to Presec
in advance.
Good. I would want to say that when you are coming to school, there are some things that, even though we say it's free senior high school, there are some things that are parents' responsibilities, and the time is yet to come. So I want to sound the call to parents at this time. Please, there are certain fundamental things that your child will need in high school, which you as a parent must be responsible for it. Our prospectus are not ready yet. But I'm not going to talk about clothes and things. I'm more interested in academic support systems.
Okay.
There are supplementary readers that parents are expected to get for their children. There are textbooks which parents are supposed to buy for their children. Please, as you are saving for the chobox, as you are saving for the gari and the shito, please save some money for the academic support system. It is very, very important. A chobox full of food with no textbooks for subjects, elective subjects in particular, will not give you the grades you want in WASI.
That's right.
You're better off if you have all the academic support system and you rather moderate the chobox and clothes. So I will call on parents, please. Yes, it is free senior high school, but as we are all aware, there are things that parents would have to do to support their children to successfully go through the senior high school system. Some of them are books that you have to buy. Some of them are time that you have to come and visit your child and talk to them.
Very important.
Some of them are finding out from teachers what support systems you can help with to make your children comfortable in school. Don't come and drop them and then go away. And the moment they come to school, say, Mama told me. And when we hear parents do that, sometimes it's a bit disheartening.
It's annoying.
It's a bit disheartening. So this coming Saturday, we have PTA meeting for first year students. We had one last Saturday for second year students. It was very successful. All parents who were able to make it to come, thank you so much. We believe that your decisions that you have taken, you are going to go by them. First year parents, we are inviting all of you. Please, the PTA meetings are very important. Very, very important. This is the time you come to interact with school management. This is the time you come to interact. This time, let me mention it. Apart from the house meetings we do, this time we have scheduled for you to come and meet the form masters of your wards. So please, when you come to the hall for the meeting. When the meeting is over, we will make time for you to meet the form masters. When you have met the form masters, there will still be more time for you to meet your children, and whatever packs of food and provisions you have for them, you can give those ones
that is number
them.
one.
Please don't speed and go and meet your children whilst the meeting is ongoing. Or don't hurry to go and meet your children whilst you are supposed to be in the classrooms to meet the form masters or mistresses of your wards. Please come to the classrooms. Come and discuss the report which you have gotten and you are not understanding issues with the form master or mistress, come and you meet management members on the block. If there is anything that is bothering you with your WAS academic work, this is an opportunity for you to come. We will be there to assist, to explain all the items that are bothering your mind. Thank you very much.
Thank you very, very much. Do you have a word for Ɔdadeɛ?
No, I think I've said all. Matters. I've said all for now.
You summarize with cautions.
No, I'm sure your group president will do that.
Oh, okay. Thank you very, very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Agbemo. Do you have something?
What I would want to say, and it's a repetition of what I started with.
Okay.
That parents must know or guide our students or children in the way they must go. We should know what they are made of, their potential, their capacity, their capabilities, and guide them so that at the end of the day, that child is happy, and you, the parents, you are also happy. Don't go pushing the child into places or programs where you know very well that you'll be stressing up the child. Let's use our resources to support. And if you are doing it right, it will yield the best results. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much. For those who are preparing to come into Presec, one piece of word that I say is that as you prepare to come through Presec, prepare your heart, your mind, your soul, your body, and your spirit for Presec to pass through you as well. Because something must go through you to make you what we expect you to become. And when we're on this note, I believe that we want to say a very, very big thank you to Mr. Prince Agote, Assistant Headmaster Administration, that is Assist 1 Administration. Thank you very, very much for coming. Thank you, Mr. Ben Ajay Pepra, for standing in for our Director of Ɔdadeɛ Legacy Admissions. Thank you, Mr. Agbemo, for coming over, yes, to give me the best support. You are always a treasure to have around. Thank you, all listeners out there. Thank you, our executive producers, Edifiko and Johnny Adofeni, also known as well, thank you, Mr. Zonda.
That's what you
thank you. Yes, that's what I wanted to remember. Thank you, Mr. Joseph Otu, also known as DJ Use, for giving us all the technical support and help. God bless you all. Until we meet again next week, we say God bless you all. Stay safe and stay covered in the blood of Jesus. God bless you. Bye-bye.
Ɔdadeɛ Radio. Like us on Facebook at Ɔdadeɛ Radio. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Ɔdadeɛ Radio. You can WhatsApp or call us on 0200 092925.